Okay, so in this video we're gonna be talking about the origins of drama in English literature, and they date back to medieval times when priests had to dramatize the episodes of the life of Jesus Christ or the life of some saints. Especially the miracles they perform. That's why these early forms of plays are also called mystery plays, mystery or miracle plays. So no professional actors, just a bunch of priests, members of the clergy, performing these episodes taken from the Bible, taken from the life of Jesus Christ, so taken from the Gospel or from the lives of saints. A further development of this form of early drama is the so-called morality play. As the name seems to suggest, a morality play teaches a moral message. The characters are embodiments, personifications, we may say, of human virtues and vices. Take the most famous of all morality plays, that is Everyman. It is an anonymous play. We don't know the author. The author of Everyman is unknown. The characters of this play are every man who could be, as the name seems to suggest, any of us, any man, any woman, any living man, living woman on this earth, and other characters which are good deeds, honesty, betrayal, wealth, and other examples of abstract ideas, abstract virtues or vices, which accompany every man in his journey in this life. Then you have God, then you have death. Death is God's instrument, which is used to summon every man in front of God. So basically, death is sent to every man just to inform him that his time on earth is over, and he has to follow death in front of God to discuss what he has done in this earthly life. What is the moral message in this play? Everything he had achieved in his life, friends, wealth, success, do not serve him, are not useful in order to gain salvation. The only thing that helps him in front of God, in front of Almighty God, is the good actions he has performed, the good deeds. Deed is a synonym for action. So the good actions, the good deeds he has done in his life. This is the only thing that can accompany him in his final voyage to God, before he is finally judged. So basically, if the good deeds you have done are enough for you to get salvation, then you're gonna be saved. Otherwise, you're gonna go to hell. Well, as you can understand, these three forms of early drama, mystery and miracle plays and morality plays, have nothing to do with traditional drama, especially if you think back of Greek tragedy. A Greek tragedy revolved around a main character, the so-called hero. A hero is basically a man who is confronting a situation and who at a certain point in his life commits a sin, makes a mistake, a fatal mistake that is defined hamartia, from the Greek verb hamartano. Hamartano means to make a mistake, to be wrong. So this fatal mistake, this fatal flaw that the Greek hero commits will lead him to self-destruction. Let's think of Christopher Marlowe or William Shakespeare, that is two Renaissance British playwrights who wrote tragedies in the traditional sense. Think of Christopher Marlowe, his heroes, Tamerlane the Great, Dido, the Queen of Carthage, or Dr. Faustus. These three characters have something in common. They commit a mistake, they make a mistake, and basically the mistake is to be to be made blind by an excessive ambition. Tamerlane is greedy for power. Dido is greedy for love. Dr. Faustus is greedy for knowledge, unlimited knowledge. This idea of wanting too much is what Greeks defined as hubris. Hubris is the main mistake, the flaw, the sin, we may say, committed by the Greek hero. Every time a hero, a heroine, if it's a female hero, wants to gain something that is far beyond his or her limits, this hero, this heroine will find self-destruction. And if you think about it, this is really coherent with Greek philosophy. What did Socrates teach? Learn to get to know yourself, know your limit, get to know your limit, and never cross that boundary. If you cross that boundary, that line between what you are, what you can be, what you can do, and what you can't, that is when you commit this fatal flaw, this sin of hubris, and you prepare your self-destruction. Dido is in love with Aeneas. Tamerlane is a great soldier. He conquered a lot of lands and he still wanted more. Dido wanted Aeneas all for herself, forgetting that he had a mission, that is to go to Italy and found what would become Rome. Dr. Faustus is the typical Renaissance man, eager, greedy for knowledge and for the power coming along with becoming so powerful. He commits a sin. He signs a pact with Satan's messenger, that is Mephistopheles, and the pact is like this. In exchange for 24 years of unlimited knowledge. At the end of this time, this lapse, Faustus is gonna give his soul to Satan. So basically, he exchanges his soul, his salvation for eternity, for unlimited knowledge. All the three of them, all these heroes created by the incredible mind of Christopher Marlowe, went to self-destruction. Let's think of William Shakespeare and his tragedies. Othello. Othello is a victim of his own jealousy. He is so convinced that his wife Desdemona has betrayed him with his best friend Cassio that he murders her, only to find out that he was wrong and that Iago had made it up. Desdemona was innocent, Cassio was innocent. It was only Iago who had made it up and had convinced Othello that he had been betrayed. But he did so in order to get his own goals. He wanted to destroy the image of Cassio. He wanted to destroy the image of Desdemona. And Othello, in the end, commits suicide because he realizes how foolish of him it was to believe Iago and not to believe Desdemona, who also proclaimed herself as innocent, and she was right. So in the end, the only thing that Othello can do is committing suicide, because he had once again hamartia, hamartano, committing making a mistake basically. So the only thing he can do is putting an end to his own life. Think of Macbeth, the victim of this excessive ambition. He was a brave soldier. He met three witches who predict that he's gonna be king, but not father of a dynasty of kings, which is what his friend Banquo is gonna be. So once Macbeth confronts his wife, Lady Macbeth, and she is really powerful in pushing him into murdering King Duncan, so committing maybe the most terrible crime ever, murdering a king, because you know that a king was somehow a divine figure. So killing a king would be something we may say blasphemous. And in fact, Lady Macbeth is gonna be haunted for the rest of her life. Macbeth himself will never find sleep anymore, and this is peculiar because he murders Duncan in his sleep. So murdering the king while he was sleeping basically means murdering his own sleep, that is, his own peace. Macbeth will never find peace anymore, and in the end the order is restored when Macbeth is killed, and a new king will rule over Scotland. Because one thing that all tragedies have in common is this idea of going full circle, and after the order has been destroyed by a crime such as killing a king, after this full circle, the murderer, the sinner, is punished, he commits suicide or he is killed, and the order is restored. And this has a lot to do with what Aristotle had taught about tragedy. Spectators had to face what happens on the stage, they had to watch what happens, these crimes committed, the consequences of these crimes, and they have to feel pity and fear. They need to be, the spectators need to be fearful, to be scared while they watch what happens after such a terrible mistake, crime, sin is committed. But they also have to feel pity, because the hero, the one who committed that mistake, that sin, that crime, could be themselves. It could be any of us. So this idea of pity, of empathy, we may say, in the end, spectators will go through a stage of catharsis, of purifications, watching the terrible conditions, the terrible consequences of committing such a terrible crime, and especially the crime of the sin of hubris, wanting too much, wanting to go too far. That is the most terrible sin ever. If you think about it, ambition is this idea of wanting to go too far, wanting to trespass your limit. So the final feeling that spectators need to feel is purification. If I have ever felt such an emotion, if I have ever felt this violence inside of me, this ambition, even this frustration. Think of Othello and how frustrated he must have felt after discovering, but he was wrong, that he had been betrayed by Desdemona and by Cassio. If you ever have felt this feeling, you need to get rid of it in order to save yourself from these bad, terrible consequences. So, even according to Aristotle, a tragedy does have a moral meaning. It teaches us something, and basically the most important lesson is Socrates' one. Know yourself, know your limit, never trespass your limit, because otherwise you only prepare your self-destruction.